fight Beevil, a 7 pound difference. This is a, 40, 50 pound difference. Um, I don't think people really want to risk losing or having a tough challenge or risk getting knocked out. I think it's it's his weakness, his kryptonite is the faster guys who don't get hit by his big punches.
Well, I'm honored to be here. I'm happy to be here. I think December 19th is going to be crazy, though. I think the center's going to be like buzzing, just crazy energy in that room. I think it's going to be really good. So now, remember, I took a year out of the game.
The fight is almost here. The tension is exploding. Jake Paul is sharpening everything, body, timing, and limit. Anthony Joshua is matching that fire. He is polishing his power and precision. Both fighters are absolutely locked in for war.
Time to shock the world, baby. Time to shock the world again.
The spotlight is on Jake Paul's camp. He made a shocking choice, bringing in Don Charles. Charles is the respected trainer who molded Daniel Dubois. This move signals a huge shift. Paul is focusing on heavyweight demands, not just promotion. Charles brings strict structure, discipline, and power management. Analysts see this as Paul trying to handle real physical pressure. Facing Joshua is a massive challenge. This change shows Paul is taking the match seriously. Every move now proves this fight is more than just another event.
Other fighters as well. I think Josh Taylor as well. So that would be a guy that's potentially being brought in to work with Jake, but I don't know that Ben Davidson would do that. I don't know if just as AJ leaves to go train with, and this is why I say Ben Davidson, AJ has left to go and train with Usyk's team. Left Ben Davidson, go train with Usyk's team. I don't know, because their relationship is so good, I don't know that Ben Davidson would just turn coat on AJ and help somebody prepare for him. Don't think that would happen, unless it was like a Tyson Fury who he already had a relationship with. So that leaves another individual. That leaves Mr. Don Charles. Don Charles, British boxing trainer, known for coaching Derek Chisora, but also known for coaching one Daniel Dubois, who just so happened, as you see here in this little very small picture down on the right side here, just so happened to, as of earlier this year, absolutely chin and stop AJ in dramatic, epic fashion in AJ's triumphant return after AJ stopped Francis Ngannou and had all his confidence back and was fighting for a world title, and Daniel Dubois said, "No, sir, not tonight." If this is true, it makes things very interesting. Don Charles was in a pretty much chaotic camp. If you guys remember with Daniel Dubois, it was like Daniel Dubois' dad was also kind of training him, which was an issue with Shane McGuigan when he was there. And then Don Charles came in and it was chaos in the corner, and Don was trying to coach and couldn't really do it. And a lot of people thought that Don didn't get his fair shake when it came to Daniel Dubois, and got a lot of the blame for Dubois losing to Usyk just a couple of months ago. But he is a very good trainer and a guy that just worked on a game plan to beat Anthony Joshua. Now again, Daniel Dubois is also 6'4" and 250 pounds with a crazy reach. So you can't teach Jake Paul that. What will Don Charles teach to Jake?
Anthony Joshua's camp is intense, focuses on strength, speed, and precision. Every session sharpens his technique, building endurance and power. He studies opponents, drills combos nonstop, and perfects his timing. Joshua's commitment ensures he enters the fight fully prepared and mentally ready for war.
I'm hearing this is true that AJ's gone out to train with Alexander Usyk's team. So I don't know if that means Alexander Usyk per se, but Alexander Usyk's team. I have no issues with that at all. Some people might sort of throw out the phrase, if you can't beat them, join them. AJ's always kind of done that. A lot of fighters do this as well, by the way, but when it's AJ, it's big nose. A lot of fighters go to camps and spend a couple of weeks in a camp. Like, most fighters do it, in fact. They'll go to a camp, spend a couple of weeks, Obviously, it looks a bit different because AJ Usyk, but most fighters do that. I mean, there's no problem sort of soaking up knowledge and seeing how people do things. Like, why would you not want to see how one of the greatest heavyweights in the world trains and what he's doing over there? You'd want to see it. I don't know if it means AJ's going to jump ship and be trained by Alexander Usyk's team. I doubt that very much. But I don't see the big deal.
Ariel Helwani is calling this an unusual moment. He stresses that Jake Paul is stepping into completely unknown territory. Paul has agreed to fight someone built like Anthony Joshua. Paul's past opponents never had this physical scale or true heavyweight presence. Most were smaller or from other sports. Helwani argues that this huge jump in size changes everything, from strategy to stamina. The difference in reach and power introduces problems Paul has never faced. Helwani concludes this is not just a step up, but a dramatic escalation that reshapes all expectations.
And Anthony Joshua is a legitimate heavyweight, and the people he's been fighting are not, none of them are 1/10 of what this man is as a fighter. His opponent in this fight, I don't know what your opinion is on this, but I am genuinely curious, because even while I think a heavyweight has a chance in any fight, a puncher's chance, I don't think Jake Paul has anything for Anthony Joshua.
Do you respect him for taking it?
Yeah, you have to, because that's terrifying. Like that. Look, I understand that Jake Paul is ranked in cruiserweight, but there are weight classes for a reason, and this is a man that I thought was going to be the guy who knocked off Fury and Deontay Wilder, and a lot of people thought that. A lot of people thought he was going to be undisputed.
Two-time unified heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist in 2012. His last fight was for the title against Daniel Dubois and got knocked out. That was his last fight. So it's not like he's washed up. It's not like he's fighting bums and all that stuff. Yeah, it's a crazy thing. I get annoyed at the people who are doing like the sanctimonious thing, that this is a stain on AJ's legacy, that this is a stain on the sport of boxing, because you often hear that from people who actually don't watch boxing, don't know anything about AJ, don't know anything about the sport, and it's like, save me the sanctimony, because as you probably know, boxing has been doing fights like this for decades. In 1976, Muhammad Ali, who was the heavyweight champion of the world, went to Japan and fought a guy named Antonio Inoki in a mixed rules pro wrestling match. In 1975, after the Rumble in the Jungle, George Foreman, after losing to Ali, went to Toronto, Maple Leaf Gardens on a Saturday afternoon and fought 5 jobbers. Like, this stuff happens. And so I don't think this is...
Wait, what?
Yeah. He fought 5 people on the same day. A jobber. Do you know what a jobber is?
Dan Raphael, a seasoned analyst, sees a huge evolution in Jake Paul. Since the Tommy Fury fight, Paul's technique is refined. His footwork is smoother, defense is better, and combinations are sharper. Plus, his stamina has improved. He is maintaining intensity in later rounds. Raphael emphasizes Paul's tactical approach has matured. He understands timing, distance, and energy conservation better now. Paul is no longer just relying on raw power. This growth is crucial as he faces bigger, more experienced opponents. Raphael concludes Paul's development shows a more complete fighter, ready for serious challenges.
2 fights he's had in his most recent 2 fights, those are so-called real fighters, but not for a long, long time. Chavez is a decade or so past when he was best, and Tyson had been retired 19 years and hadn't been, even when he was still an active fighter, hadn't been at his best over the last decade of his career. So they were guys with big names, but not threats. And the other fighters that he's faced have been a collection of either non-combat athletes, MMA fighters who've decided to come into boxing or had very limited experience in boxing. And then, a couple of guys in boxing that didn't have a lot of experience who were boxers, but had been off, for a long time. A couple of guys you never heard of before he fought those guys, and those guys you'll never hear of again. Of course, the fight against Tommy Fury, which I know he lost, but it was like a split decision, as my recollection says, and it was awfully close. And for my perspective is, whatever you think about it, Jake Paul certainly has gotten better since he fought Tommy Fury. He's certainly gotten better over the last number of fights. Now, is he at an elite world-class level? Probably not yet. He may never get to that level, but so you got to give him props. He's taken on a guy that I spend part of my morning talking to different boxing matchmakers, people I've known for decades in this business, who have vast experience of building fighters and moving fighters and developing them, and they know a lot better than you or me what they're looking at. And to a person, they were like, they don't understand why Jake took this fight, because they think it's, one person used the word of decapitation. So he's going to be a monstrous underdog against a massive puncher. But they're all getting paid.
Anthony Joshua's camp is all about unwavering focus. He combines raw power with precise technique in every drill. His footwork is controlled, his combos calculated, and his endurance is clear. This commitment shows he respects Jake Paul as a worthy opponent. Joshua focuses on both physical and mental readiness, perfecting his timing and defense. Observers note his discipline ensures he can handle any challenge. He is solidifying his condition and sharpening his skills daily, entering the fight fully confident. As the showdown nears, the boxing world is buzzing. Every detail is being dissected.
That's good. Don't look for nothing. Now step around him. Upper body. Keep a rhythm now. Keep a rhythm. Don't wait on him. Now you're waiting on him, mate. How do you feel? Just be a bit sharper, mate. You're waiting on him again. You're letting him attack you, and then you're trying to get away too late. Do you know what I'm saying?
They come into the ring with a strategy, and you have to eliminate their strategy. So that's why in sparring you work on just defending, moving out of range, going through the rounds and doing it.
Defend the straight shots, that's it, good. Feet now, good. Little feint again, that's it. Just keep it simple, don't give nothing away, that's it, nice. That's lovely, but don't give nothing away now, don't rush nothing. That's it, ease away. No leaning, come on, just do the simple things.
Joey Knight issued a strong warning. Do not underestimate either man. Paul's unpredictable style plus Joshua's elite power makes this fight full of uncertainty. Knight also notes both fighters have clearly evolved in camp. Stamina, technique, and tactics are all improved. This means the fight tests more than just strength. It will challenge mental resilience, timing, and adaptability. The intense buildup reflects the high stakes. Analysts stress that despite the hype, this promises genuine competition. It is one of the most intriguing and closely watched bouts in boxing history.
Jake Paul can make a lot of cash, maybe not as much as the Anthony Joshua fight, but a lot of cash, and can still have a serious chance of going on to earn even more paydays. Whereas the damage that it could do to his body could be irreversible for that opportunity to earn money in a boxing career going forward. So is this the retirement bag? Or do you actually think you can win? Because I read a study recently, and I believe it said something along the lines of men overemphasize or overcalculate their ability to fight by about 500 times. And I'm saying Jake Paul would probably need to be 500 times better to stand a chance against Anthony Joshua. And I can't get how he doesn't already know this. Surely he has sparred with heavyweights. Surely the recent sparring that he had with the likes of Shakur Stevenson and with the likes of Ray Ford, amongst others, Badu Jack, surely that would have taught you that there are levels to boxing. And if these small guys are able to show you things that you had no idea that you were vulnerable to in a boxing ring, what happens when someone who hits 4, 5, 6 times as hard as that does the exact same thing to you and lands it on your chin? The whole reason of why I know where I am in the influencer boxing scene, in the misfit scene, is because of the level that I have sparred at. I've sparred boys that have gone on to box for world titles. I've sparred with English champions, and I've sparred with loads of...
Pro boxer Liam Cameron gives the fan insight. Many viewers are assuming Anthony Joshua will win easily. They expect a power show against an inexperienced rival. Cameron notes some fans just want the spectacle of a mismatch, treating it as pure entertainment, not a serious sport. But he warns, assumptions can be misleading. Jake Paul has shown huge growth and surprising skill recently. Cameron stresses that public perception misses the intense preparation, strategy, and adaptability of both fighters. The contrast between hype and reality makes this a true test.
If you don't like Jake Paul, AJ is going to do you a favour because he's going to flatten him. But big props to that Jake Paul for getting it ring with him. Listen to this, he's a multi-millionaire. Multi-millionaire. You don't have to box. And he's fighting him. He's either a madman or he knows something we don't know. But people like saying, oh, I won't take this Jake Paul fight. Listen, every boxer on the planet would fight Jake Paul for money. I'd fight Anthony Joshua for money. I'd get flattened, but I'd fight him. So yeah, I think people sometimes have to watch what they say and think about if I were going to get...
Brendan Schaub discussed Anthony Joshua's mindset. He seems unusually relaxed compared to his other big fights. Many think Joshua sees this as a calculated opportunity, not a career-defining challenge. He is focused, but without the intense mental pressure. Some see this as smart strategy, avoiding overthinking. Others see it as pure confidence. The consensus: Joshua knows the stakes but is relying on his experience and power. This relaxed attitude helps him. He is less likely to be rattled by Jake Paul's unexpected tactics. He can focus on executing his plan perfectly.
Come off that Anthony Joshua's not taking this real, and he's not putting his best performance forward. That's the issue. The issue is Anthony's like, how much you gonna pay me? It's on Netflix? Hold up. I can fight this guy who, when I was an amateur teenager, I fought better guys. And I have how much weight on him? I can fight him for how much money? Dude, I'll beat him in my sleep. Correct. And you should. And it's such a disservice to the sport of boxing and to the actual fans of boxing if Anthony Joshua doesn't go out there and absolutely dominate Jake Paul. If it goes to decision, if it goes past 6 rounds, Houston, we have a problem. Boxing, we have a problem. And now, people are going, where was this energy with Gervonta Davis? Different. You're talking about a very, very small guy. I've worked with Gervonta. He's fucking tiny. And size can overshadow a lot of that stuff. I still think Gervonta should still win that fight. And the body shots, if he's taking it seriously, that should have got the job done. But obviously he has his legal issues and that went out the window. But when you're talking about an actual world-class heavyweight who went toe-to-toe with Klitschko, with fucking all these bad boys, if Anthony Joshua takes this serious, as he should, this shouldn't even be a competition, and it's brilliant. Because for Jake, okay, cool, man. Got knocked out by one of the best to ever do it, or got finished by one of the best to do it. At least I got in there. And I'm not even a heavyweight. I'm a cruiserweight at best. Either I'm too light in the ass for that. I should be fighting down. He's shooting for the moon. He's going to land on the stars. And just to be absolutely clear, Jake always...
That is it. Don't go anywhere. We will see you next time.